Welcome to QuizNLearn Hub. Get ready to test your Bible knowledge with 25 challenging questions. Think you know the scriptures? Participate in the quiz and see how you do. Comment your scores below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more quizzes and learning. Let's go. 1. What was the original language of the New Testament? Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek. Greek. The New Testament was written in Koine Greek, which was the common language of the Eastern Mediterranean at the time, making it accessible to a wide audience. 2. Which prophet confronted King David about his sin with Bathsheba? Nathan, Samuel, Elijah. The prophet Nathan confronted King David about his adultery with Bathsheba and the murder of her husband Uriah, using a parable to reveal David's guilt. 2 Samuel 12 verses 1 to 15. 3. What was the name of Abraham's first son? Isaac, Ishmael, Esau. Ishmael. Ishmael was Abraham's first son, born to Hagar, Sarah's maidservant, due to Sarah's initial inability to bear children. Ishmael is considered the ancestor of many Arab nations. Genesis 16 verse 15. 4. Who interpreted King Nebuchadnezzar's dream about the statue? Daniel, Joseph, Ezekiel. Daniel interpreted King Nebuchadnezzar's dream about a statue made of various materials, representing successive kingdoms, as recorded in Daniel 2. This interpretation saved Daniel's life and elevated his status in the kingdom. 5. Which Old Testament book is the shortest by chapter count? Obadiah, Jonah, Nahum. Obadiah. Obadiah has only one chapter, making it the shortest book in the Old Testament. 6. Who was the mother of Samuel, the prophet? Hannah, Rachel, Leah. Hannah prayed earnestly for a child and vowed to dedicate him to the Lord's service. Her prayer was answered, and she gave birth to Samuel, who became a great prophet. 1 Samuel 1 verse 20. 7. What city did Jonah try to flee to instead of going to Nineveh? Tarshish, Tarsus, Damascus. Tarshish. Jonah attempted to flee to Tarshish, which is believed to be a distant city in the opposite direction of Nineveh, showing his reluctance to fulfill God's command. Jonah 1 verse 3. 8. In the book of Revelation, how many churches are addressed in Asia? 5, 7, 12. 7. The book of Revelation addresses 7 churches in Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey, each receiving messages specific to their circumstances and spiritual state. Revelation 1 verse 4. 9. Who led the Israelites into the Promised Land? Moses, Joshua, Aaron. Joshua led the Israelites into the Promised Land after the death of Moses. He is known for the Battle of Jericho and for dividing the land among the 12 tribes. Joshua 1 verses 2 to 3. 10. How many plagues did God send upon Egypt? 7, 10, 12. 10. God sent 10 plagues upon Egypt to compel Pharaoh to release the Israelites from slavery. The plagues included events such as turning water to blood, locusts, and the death of the firstborn. Exodus 7 to 12. 11. Which king saw the handwriting on the wall? Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar, Darius. King Belshazzar saw the handwriting on the wall during a feast, which Daniel interpreted as God's judgment against him. That night, Babylon fell to the Medes and Persians. Daniel 5 verses 1 to 31, 12. Who was the first Christian martyr? Stephen, James, Peter. Stephen, one of the first deacons of the Christian church, was stoned to death for his faith, making him the first Christian martyr. His story is told in Acts 7 verses 54 to 60, 13. What river was Naaman told to wash in to be cured of leprosy? Jordan, Euphrates, Tigris. Jordan, Naaman, a Syrian army commander, was instructed by the prophet Elisha to wash in the Jordan River 7 times to be healed of his leprosy. He initially resisted but was healed after following the command. 2 Kings 5 verse 10, 14. What is the longest book in the Bible based on the number of chapters? Psalms, Isaiah, Genesis. Psalms. The book of Psalms is the longest book in the Bible by the number of chapters. It contains 150 psalms, which are songs and prayers expressing a range of human emotions and worship to God. 15. Who had a coat of many colors? Joseph, David, Jacob. Joseph's father, Jacob, gave him a coat of many colors, symbolizing his favoritism towards Joseph. This caused jealousy among Joseph's brothers, leading to his eventual sale into slavery. Genesis 37 verse 3, 16. What was the profession of Matthew before he followed Jesus? Fisherman, tax collector, carpenter. Tax collector, Matthew, also known as Levi, was a tax collector before becoming one of Jesus' disciples. Tax collectors were generally disliked because they worked for the Roman authorities and were often seen as corrupt. Matthew 9 verse 9, 17. Which New Testament book has Jesus' Sermon on the Mount? Mark, Luke, Matthew. Matthew. Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, which includes the Beatitudes and teachings on various aspects of righteous living, is found in Matthew chapters 5 to 7. This sermon is one of the most well-known sections of the New Testament. 18. What type of insect did John the Baptist eat in the wilderness? Grasshoppers, locusts, beetles. Locusts. John the Baptist's diet in the wilderness included locusts and wild honey. This austere lifestyle was a sign of his prophetic mission and dedication. Matthew 3 verse 4, 19. Which apostle was shipwrecked on the island of Malta? Peter, Paul, John. Paul was shipwrecked on the island of Malta during his voyage to Rome as a prisoner. He stayed on the island for 3 months, performing miracles and preaching the gospel. Acts 28 verse 1, 20. Who built the first city mentioned in the Bible? Cain, Abel, Enoch. Cain built a city and named it after his son Enoch. This event is recorded after Cain was cursed by God for killing his brother Abel. Genesis 4 verse 17, 21. What king made a decree that all the world should be taxed during Jesus' birth? Herod, Caesar Augustus, Pontius Pilate. Caesar Augustus, the first Roman emperor, issued a decree for a census, which required everyone to return to their ancestral towns. This led Mary and Joseph to Bethlehem where Jesus was born. Luke 2 verse 1, 22. Which prophet's scroll was cut and burned by King Jehoiakim? Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. Jeremiah. King Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, was angered by the prophecies of Jeremiah. He cut and burned the scroll containing Jeremiah's prophecies, but God commanded Jeremiah to rewrite the scroll. Jeremiah 36 verse 23, 23. Who was the only female judge of Israel? Deborah, Ruth, Esther. Deborah was the only female judge of Israel. She led Israel at a time when judges ruled the land and is known for her wisdom and courage in the battle against the Canaanite general Sisera. Judges 4 verse 4, 24. How many times did God call Samuel before he realized it was God? 2, 3, 4. For God called Samuel 4 times while he was serving in the temple under Eli. Initially, Samuel thought it was Eli calling him, but on the 4th call, Eli realized it was God and instructed Samuel to listen. 1 Samuel 3 verses 4 to 10, 25. Which book prophesies the virgin birth of Christ? Micah, Isaiah, Jeremiah. Isaiah. The book of Isaiah contains the prophecy of the virgin birth of Christ. Isaiah 7 verse 14 states, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." This prophecy is seen as a foretelling of the birth of Jesus Christ.
Great job! Comment your scores below. If you enjoyed the quiz, like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.